Good morning, my dear students. I welcome all of you to today's science class. We are doing chapter number 6, Combustion and Flame. We have already completed half the chapter. So today we'll do the last part of this chapter. So before proceeding, let us see what we have done in the previous class. So in the previous class, we discussed about the types of combustion. So there are three main types of combustion, that is rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion and explosion. Flame is the zone of combustion of combustible substances. A candle has three main zones, that is the outer zone, the middle zone and the inner zone. So the outer zone of the candle flame is the hottest part and blue in color. The middle zone is moderately hot and yellow in color, and the inner zone is least hot and black in color. So now let us look at what are we going to do in today's class. So in today's class we will be discussing about fuel, and we'll be able to identify a good fuel. We'll also understand the efficiency of fuel, and we'll also be able to understand and study the harmful effects of burning fuel. Now, what is fuel? We have already discussed about combustible substances. So combustible substances are those substances which undergoes combustion. The substances like wood, kerosene, oil, all these substances undergo combustion, and when they undergo combustion, they produce heat and light. So these sources of heat and light are in the form of energy used in domestic and industrial purposes. And the main substances which are used are wood, charcoal, petrol, kerosene and many other substances, combustible substance. So these substances which provide heat energy is called fuel. Now fuel can be of three main types, that is solid fuel, liquid fuel and gaseous fuel. So what are solid fuels? Solid fuels are those combustible substances which are solid in nature at room temperature. For example, coal, coke, wood, charcoal. Liquid fuel are those combustible liquids or volatile liquid which produce combustible vapor. For example, petrol, kerosene, alcohol, diesel. Gaseous fuel, on the other hand, are combustible gases or mixtures of combustible gases. For example, natural gas, LPG, biogas, coal gas and many more are there. So these are the types of fuel. Now let us look at the characteristic of good fuel. When do we call fuel to be good? So a good fuel is one which is readily available. That means it should be easily available. It should be cheap. It should burn easily in air at moderate rate. It should produce a large amount of heat. It should not leave behind any undesirable substances. So when these characteristics are fulfilled by any type of fuel, it is considered to be good fuel. But there is probably no fuel that can be considered as an ideal fuel. So we should look for a fuel which fulfills most of the requirement for a particular use, because a particular fuel may have few characteristics but not all the characteristics. So we need to see that the fuel should have maximum of the characteristics which will help it to be considered as a good fuel. Now children, if I ask you to boil a given quantity of water using cow dung cake, coal or LPG as fuel, which fuel would you prefer and why? Obviously, you would consider the fuel which would give out more amount of energy. So that is called efficiency of fuel. So the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg, I repeat 1 kg of a fuel, is called its calorific value. The calorific value of a fuel is expressed in a unit called kilojoule per kg. So this is what we understand by efficiency of fuel. That means if 1 kg of a particular fuel is taken, then what is the amount of energy which it is going to produce. So depending on the amount of energy which it will be producing, we will be considering the fuel to be good. Yes. So here is a table that shows the calorific values of different fuel. So let us look at the calorific value of different fuel. Cow dung cake 6,000 to 8,000 kilojoule per kg. Wood 17,000 to 22,000 kilojoule per kg. Coal 25,000 to 33,000. Petrol 45,000, kerosene 45,000, diesel 45,000, methane 50,000, CNG 50,000 kilojoule per kg, LPG 55,000 kilojoule per kg, biogas 35 to 40,000 kilojoule per kg, and hydrogen 1,50,000 kilojoule per kg. So children, according to the table, which fuel has the highest calorific value? It is hydrogen. So hydrogen produces the maximum amount of energy from this list of the calorific value of different fuel. Now we know that fossil fuel or fuels are very much useful for us because we use this fuel for various purposes, for domestic purposes as well as for industrial purposes. But the burning of the fuel leads to production of harmful products, and as a result of it, it can lead to the pollution of environment. Also, it can lead to various diseases that can be caused due to inhalation of this harmful gases by animals and human beings. Carbon fuels like wood, coal, petroleum is burnt. It releases unburned carbon particles. So when these particles enter the body, it causes respiratory problems, lungs problem, and also asthma. So people have been using wood as fuel from many years. It is the most available type of fuel for everyone. So when wood is used as fuel, there are various effects. First thing is that wood is a carbon fuel, and when it is burned, it produces carbon particles. So when wood is used as fuel, not only unburnt carbon particles are produced, but also the trees are being cut down. As a result of cutting down of trees, there is deforestation, and the useful products which we get from the trees are lost. Next is incomplete combustion of fuel gives carbon monoxide gas. So carbon monoxide gas is a very harmful gas which is produced due to incomplete combustion of fuel. So when incomplete combustion of fuel takes place, carbon monoxide gas is produced. This also leads to various problems. Combustion of most fuel releases carbon dioxide in the environment. So as we all know that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So the carbon dioxide, the excess carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere, do not allow the heat of the sun to move back. As a result, the entire earth temperature is raised, which we called or term as global warming. So when global warming takes place, not only the temperature of the entire earth increases, but also due to global warming, the glaciers melt, and as a result of it, flood occurs. There are places where due to melting of glaciers, the whole area is submerged under water, and this is seen usually near the coastal regions, because when the glaciers melt, the water will flow into the seas and ocean, and as a result of it, the people living in the coastal regions will suffer. So this is one harmful effect of burning of fuel. Burning of coal and diesel releases sulfur dioxide gas. It also releases oxides of nitrogen. So the oxides of sulfur and the oxide of nitrogen, when dissolves in water, it forms acid, and such type of rain is called acid rain. So due to acid rain, since acid rain is corrosive in nature, due to acid rain, buildings, animals, plants are being affected. And why is acid rain occurring? It is due to burning of fuel like coal and diesel. So although fuel is very useful for us, we have to look into the harmful effects of burning fuel also, and we have to consider these harmful effects whenever we use fuel. So this is all for today's class. We have completed the chapter. Now let us summarize what we have learned in today's class. So in today's class, we have learned that an ideal fuel is cheap, readily available, readily combustible, and easy to transport. It has high calorific value. It does not produce gas or residues that pollute the environment. Fuel differ in their efficiency and cost. Fuel efficiency is expressed in terms of its calorific value, which is expressed in units of kilojoule per kg. Unburned carbon particles in air are dangerous pollutant causing respiratory problems. Incomplete combustion of fuel gives poisonous carbon monoxide gas. Increased percentage of carbon dioxide in air has been linked to global warming. Oxides of sulfur and nitrogen produced by the burning of coal, diesel and petrol causes acid rain, which is harmful for crops, buildings and soil. So this is all for today's class. Thank you and have a great day.